Well, hi everyone. Welcome to Real Stories of Hurting Moms. I'm so happy to be here with you tonight. My name's Cathy Taylor, and last week I didn't get to come live because I was at a conference for Celebrate Recovery, which was an amazing few days for 3 days. Just a great time of kind of renewal and refreshment for me, and I really enjoyed it. But I missed doing the video. I missed being on here live. So I'm really happy to be back tonight, and I've been really excited all day about joining you on here tonight. So a couple of things before I get started. Let me know where you're watching from. You know, I get so excited. Every week we see moms watching from all over the United States, of course, and a lot of moms in Canada. And then we have moms, like regular moms, watching in Ireland and Australia. And we've had some, all over the world, really. It's just international. So much fun to be able to see where everybody's tuning in from. So let me know where you're watching from. And then also let me know if this is your first time. If this is your first time to be on here to participate in one of our live broadcasts. We do this every single Thursday, same time, 6 o'clock Pacific time. I'm on the West Coast. So I know for some of you that would be like 9 o'clock, I think, on the East Coast. So anyway, really happy to be here. I missed you all. And I see people saying hi, Deanna, Susan, Renee, and Anne-Marie. So hello to all of you. It's good to see you on here watching. I always get excited when I first start seeing the names come up, because then I know that I'm not all alone. But anyway, I wanted to do something a little bit different tonight. I'm going to do something different. You know, I often receive emails from moms, emails or messages on Facebook asking me questions. Some moms have read my autobiography. Some of you know that my story's out there. It gives a whole lot of details about my life, but people have read that and they come up with questions that they want to know. Or sometimes people that just watch the video or come onto our Facebook page ask questions. And honestly, ladies, my life is an open book. I'm happy to be open and honest and transparent and answer any questions you might have, mostly about my journey as a hurting mom. And so I'm gonna do that tonight. So I mentioned my autobiography, though. I want to tell you about that because as I talk, if anybody hasn't read it, if you're interested in knowing all the details of my life, it's here. It's called The Story of a Hurting Mom. You can get it at our website store. In fact, there's a link above the video where you'll be able to click on it and get the book. And it kind of starts back in my childhood. It goes all the way through my adulthood, and when I became a hurting mom, and the turmoil and the things that I went through, all the way to up until when I created Hurting Moms Mending Hearts. In the book, and even you'll see on here, I'm pretty transparent. My life is an open book. I don't mind being real. I don't mind being open. In fact, I think that's how we heal, is by being able to be transparent and to be real and just tell it like it is. And so I don't have a guest tonight, and so I thought I'd do something different. I have a few things I want to talk to you about, but while I'm talking, I'm going to answer your questions. So go ahead and ask questions. You can write them in your in the comments, and I'm going to share a few things with you first, and then I'll get to the questions. But go ahead and answer them, and I'll do the best I can to be open and transparent and to answer your questions. And even those of you who are tuning in after the live broadcast, because I know a lot of people watch this later Friday night or over the weekend, even if we're not live anymore, go ahead and ask the questions, because I will go back and check, and I'll go ahead and write answers to the questions in the comments. So while I'm talking tonight, if you think of anything you want to ask, feel free to do that, and I will do the best I can to answer your questions. But first, I want to tell you about a couple things. First thing I want to do is I want to point out these cute earrings I have on. Everything looks backwards to me in the camera. So here. So if you can see this, see how cute that is? These were custom made for Hurting Moms Mending Hearts. It was by a daughter of one of the moms who's really involved in this ministry, is dear to her heart. So if you take a look at that, they're so cute. They're hearts, and they got red in them, and I have a red in my shirt, and so I wanted to wear these tonight to show them to you. We have a lot of moms that kind of have purchased these for like a friend or somebody else in their group. So they are available at our website store, and you can check that out too. Go ahead, feel free to go to the store. I put a link above the video as well for the earrings. So it'll take you to the place where we just have a really limited amount of them. So if you love them, or if you really want to have a pair, I'd say go ahead and get it as soon as possible. But I love them, and I feel pretty snazzy in these. They're pretty decorative and fun. So I like it. I like it a lot. So I want to talk to you a little bit about some things that I've realized, some of it this week, some of it for a long time, but I don't know if I've stressed it enough. I'm actually leading an online Hurting Moms group right now. I haven't led one for a few years. Most of my focus goes into developing leaders, but I am leading a group right now. And we were talking this week about how it seems like once we become part of the Hurting Moms community, once we start having some healing, once we share our own story in a safe place, which it is in the group, it seems like all of a sudden God starts bringing other hurting moms into our path. We were talking, that one of the gals in my group was talking about how it seems like all of a sudden everywhere she goes, there's hurting moms. And, you know, we learn along the way that, I mean, we don't realize there's so many hurting moms. When we're hurting and we hold everything in, some of us have been hurting moms for many years, and we had no idea that there are so many other moms that are experiencing the same thing. And the reason is that we don't talk about it, right? We just don't talk about it. It's not something we openly share with people, and other moms don't openly share it with us. But all of a sudden, as we learn to share this deepest pain that we have, it just seems like everywhere we go, there are other hurting moms. And I don't think that's a mistake. I think God knows what he's doing when he brings us together, because no one can encourage another hurting mom like a hurting mom, right? I mean, we may have other friends that we can share with, and they may be sympathetic, but if they haven't experienced it, if they haven't been there, they don't really know. It's really hard for them to identify with us. But when those of us who are hurting moms, when we share with one another, like we do in the groups, and even like we do here on Facebook, when you write your comments, I see you writing back and forth to each other and encouraging one another. There's just something about it that's really powerful when you know that you're talking to somebody who gets it, who really gets it. And until we have that safe place where we can talk about it, or we talk about our own experiences, we don't start healing. I don't think we start healing until we can start talking about it. I mean, you know, I just talked about my autobiography a few minutes ago. When I wrote that, and this was long after I started the whole ministry, and I had a lot of healing in my life already, but just writing that down and putting it all out there, I went a whole new level of healing in my life. And along the way, if we can be open and share, it makes a huge difference. You know, without sharing, we have all these negative emotions, right? In the groups, we talk about, we talked about the negative emotions we have, the anger and anxiety and fear and disappointment. And of course, there's the guilt and shame. And those emotions just stay trapped somewhere inside of us, and they eat us up and completely sap the life out of us, don't they? And in fact, I think a lot of times we lose sight of any joy or any peace that we may have had. And even worse, for a lot of hurting moms, I think it starts becoming our identity. Being a hurting mom becomes our very identity. And we can't see beyond that pain. And instead of identifying as a wife or a daughter or a sister or an employee or a child of God, we identify only as a hurting mom. That's all we can think about. We just can't see beyond that pain. And our energy is completely drained by worrying and trying to fix or grieving over our child and over the situation with our child. How many of you have been somewhere when other moms start sharing all the wonderful things about their wonderful children and the wonderful things that their son or daughter has been accomplishing. And we stand there. I mean, I guess I can speak for myself. I've been there, and it's not a good place. And I can remember just wishing that a crack in the floor or the sidewalk would open up and I could slip through it. And even like praying, oh God, please don't let them ask me about my child. Please don't ask about my child. It's just so uncomfortable. And but then something happens when we do get to the place where we can open up and we can share with others. We know they know what we're experiencing, and we don't feel alone. And we feel somehow it validates our feelings. It validates the fact that, hey, this is a real thing. Being a hurting mom is a real deal. And so I say we need each other. We need each other, and such a huge part of our healing comes by sharing freely. When we share with another hurting mom, we don't have to worry about being judged, right? I mean, if I share with someone whose kids are perfect, they may judge me, think, well, what'd you do? You know, we feel like it's our fault. We feel like we're being judged, whether we are or not. But when I share with another hurting mom, someone who understands that pain, I know that they're not judging me. That's what happens in these groups as well. We don't, nobody judges, because we're all there. We're all in the same boat, and we know what it feels like. And so we are able to be open and real and transparent with one another, and not feel ashamed, and not feel like we have to, that we're, you know, like we're the only one. 1 Thessalonians 5:11. It's a great scripture, and it's just short, but it says, therefore, encourage one another and build one another up, just as you are doing. And so that's what we're doing, right? That's what we're trying to do in these groups. That's what I'm trying to do when I come on here and encourage you. We are all trying to encourage one another, and it makes a big difference, and it gets us through some hard times. Those of you who have listened to me for a while have heard me say, because I know I say it a lot, that I always talk about how talking about things takes the power out of it. And I know there are hundreds of moms who have been through a Hurting Moms Mending Hearts group who know exactly what I'm talking about. Somehow, before we start talking about it, before we start sharing it, it becomes, overwhelms us, and it takes over in our lives. And in fact, well, first let me say, so when in these groups, that's a safe place. That's a place where we can come and we can share and be open and not worry about people judging us, and not worry about people gossiping about us, but we just come in and we can get real about it. And in fact, if you're watching tonight and you've not been through a Hurting Moms 10-week group, I want to encourage you, sign up for one right away. They're only 10 weeks. It doesn't take that long, but any mom who's been through it can tell you it will change your life. It will change your life. And all the leaders, we all notice that at about somewhere around week 4 or 5, all of a sudden the demeanor of all the moms changes. You know, we all come in and we're just broken. There's lots of tears. It's hard for us to, you know, speak about what's hurting us. But then as the weeks go by and we begin to get tools to get to a better place, all of a sudden we start feeling better, and we change, and we're able to laugh, and it's like we relate to each other. And even though the situation may not be funny, because we have this bond that no one else really gets, there's something really special about it. So, you know, when I say sign up for a group, on our website, there's a group locator map. So you can go to where it says Breaking Free groups. The groups are called Breaking Free groups. That's on the book. But there's a locator map, so you can see if there's a group in your area. We have probably close to 60 groups around the U.S. and Canada. So see if there's one in your area if you really want to do an in-person group. But if there's not, I really want to encourage you to sign up for an online group. And let me tell you about online groups. They sound kind of scary at first. I was scared at first when we started doing them. Most of us are kind of technologically challenged, aren't we? I mean, it's not the easiest thing for us to just think about going on the computer and jumping into an online group with people that we don't know. But honestly, it is so easy. And hundreds of moms have gone through these online groups. And you know what's great about an online group? Sometimes I think they're safer and more confidential than an in-person group. And the reason is, in an online group, you'll have moms from all over the US and Canada, and maybe no two moms will be even in the same state. So nobody knows any mutual people or mutual family. And so it's completely anonymous. You go in, you're going to meet and you're going to fall in love with these women and get close to them. But you don't have to worry. It's safe and it's confidential. And I want to tell you too that right now, between now and the end of this month, there is a special that you can register for an online group for less than $20. And that includes your workbook and your registration to get into the online meeting room. And so it's only till the end of this month. We have about 5 groups coming up that you can choose from. So daytime, evening, different times, different days of the week. So if you haven't been through a group, I don't know. I know I say this every week. I just can't stress it enough. It's such an amazing experience. It's so great. And even now, I am leading an online group, and I'm loving every minute of it. And I love these women that I'm with in that group already. It's just like this bond happens, and it happens so fast. So sign up. You won't regret it. You know, this ministry, and not because I'm a visionary person or I planned this out, it's changing the lives of moms all over the world, really. And just being part of the community makes a difference. I see a lot of you on here that I know haven't even been in groups yet, but just being on the Facebook page and hearing, interacting with each other and hearing me talk, and usually I have a guest talk, that I know that that's helpful for you. There's something about this community, about being in community. And again, this isn't something I planned. I didn't sit down and think, well, you know what, I'm gonna, make this program that's gonna reach people all over the world. I did it for myself. I was in so much pain, and I just had a longing to meet with other moms. And so I started it at my church many years ago. And I don't even know what's happening now. All I can tell you is God is doing something amazing. This is all about him. I'm running, barely able to keep up with what he's doing, but I'm trusting him. I'm trusting him that he's going to not give me more than I can handle. But we're all in this together, honestly. We're all in it together. I received an email this week from another hurting mom, and I don't know her, but reading her message was such a huge blessing to me. And it came at just the right time. And this is what I'm talking about how we encourage each other. And I need encouragement too, just like everybody. We all need encouragement. And I got this email, and it really reminded me again of how important it is that we encourage one another on a regular basis. And this mom had gotten a package of some of the talks I've done. I have some recorded talks, and she had gotten a package of those. And so that's what she's referring to. But I'm going to read this to you. And I'm not reading to you this because it makes it sound like I'm so wonderful, because it isn't anything to do with me. But I want to show you how someone wrote something to me that really encouraged me and gave me a boost and a burst of energy that, I need too in the midst of this. So she said, "Thank you so much, Cathy. You have no idea what a lifeline these talks have been for me. As my struggle continues, these have been a lifeline to help me refocus my heart and my mind on the only one who can cause change, Jesus. The most important thing that I think I've learned is that I need to step out of the way and let God do what he's going to do. I thank God for your ministry that I came upon by accident on Facebook. I was at the end of my rope, losing all hope, when this ministry came up on my feed. I took the online class, I read your book, and I've been able to minister to many other hurting moms by directing them to your ministry. Keep doing what you're doing and be encouraged that you're doing God's will. He's using you in ways you will never hear about. I'm just one story of thousands. Many blessings to you." Now, I read that to you only because I just got to tell you how much that encouraged me. So when somebody says, and I work hard at this, I think about you. I mean, it's my heart, and I care so much about this ministry, and I care so much about you moms. And sometimes, I don't know, is it making a difference? And then I get something like this where it encourages me. Yeah, it is. I need to keep going. And so it was just the way she encouraged me, and then what I love too was when she mentioned that, what did she say? I'm looking for it right now. Oh, she's able to minister to many other hurting moms too. So that's what we do. I mean, I'm not seeing any. I don't think anybody's asking me any questions. Are you guys asking me questions? I see you talking about the groups, but maybe you don't have any questions for me. I talk so much, you probably have them all answered. But if you have any questions for me, go ahead and write them on there, because I'm wrapping up with what I'm going to talk about. But this is another mom who's received hope and healing, along with tools to get her through the rough patches. And God is now putting other hurting moms in her path so that she can offer them hope. And I just think that that's what he does. I think that is the way that God works. And so we get to do this together. We get to minister to each other. And it doesn't mean that we're all better or that we're in a perfect place. I certainly am not. I still have stuff. I've got stuff with some of my kids that I still deal with. But I've learned over time how to surrender them to the Lord. And I know that they're not mine to fix, and they're not mine to, it isn't for me to let my whole life go down the tubes while I'm worrying about them. And so after many years of practice, I really am able to surrender them to him today. And it does take practice sometimes. Sometimes you can't just do it you can't do it automatically one time. So anyway, I wanted to share that message with you. And I'll bet some of you have similar situations where God has put other moms in your path. Maybe it's standing in line at the bank or at the grocery store. Maybe it's at your place of work. Maybe it's a neighbor. Maybe it's a family member. I have one mom who was with her grandbaby at her little gym class, and it turned out the teacher there was a hurting mom, and they started talking about, you never know. You just never know. Joyce says, do you talk to anyone on the phone or text with them? I do, Joyce. I do. I have, the best way to talk to me is via email. And then sometimes I'll like I said, a lot of these leaders, a lot of people I've talked to, I'm sure there's people on there that have talked to me, because that's what I love to do. So I am happy to answer your emails when I can. So, yeah, I don't know. I just can't get enough of this, the way we encourage each other. I'd love to hear. I'm still looking for questions. That was one. That was a good question. Do I ever talk to anyone on the phone or text them? And I do. I'm not a very good texter. I can tell you that. When I text, like if I have my phone and I'm like this, I have to do like this. And I make a lot of mistakes, and it corrects it wrong. And so I'm not a very good texter, but I will try it. And I also, but like I said, the best way to get a hold of me and have me respond is via email. Because that way, and my email address that anybody can email me directly is Cathy BT. It's CATHYBT @hurtingmoms.com. And you can email me there, and I will answer you. So I'm hoping that all of you are thinking about that. Jane says, sorry, she's a dropout. I don't know if she's talking to me, but that's something else I want to tell you. If you've gone through a group already and you want to go through a group again, do it. Go through. Many people go through it a second or even third time. And as you get stronger and you feel God calling you to lead a group, I'd love to have you do that too. I train leaders one-on-one. Trained a couple people this week where I got to meet with them online. And so I love to do that. I love to have that interaction with you. I'm looking, Phyllis says it forever changer. They laugh, cry, and pray for each other. Oh man, isn't that the truth? Lisa and I've talked several times. Isn't it the truth that we get in these groups and we cry together, but pretty soon we're laughing together. And to be able to pray, there's nothing like knowing somebody else is praying for you and praying for your child. I mean, we've been praying for them, right, for years, but to know you've got other moms praying for your child and for you to be praying for other people's children, it's very powerful. It is very powerful. I'm looking through, Sheila's recommended this group to her friend. Renee says, especially when it's more than one child. That's true. So I talk to moms all the time that have maybe 2 or 3 children that they're worrying about. It's hard enough to go through it with one. Sheila says, I need to go through another group. Reluctant to do some of the assignments, but wrote her later to God and we're able to give her 2 sons to God. Wow. Hey, that's awesome, Sheila. And I mean, that's the hope, right? I mean, the main purpose of these groups is number 1, to come together and be able to share in a safe place. And number 2, to be able to, well, finally to draw closer to God. I mean, a lot of moms tell me they get closer to God. And then finally and ultimately to be able to surrender our children, to Him, because you know what? He created them. He loves them. He even loves them more than we do. Pamela says these groups bond for life. That's true. I have groups that I was part of, like when we first started doing this, like 3 or 4 years ago, and we still have a private Facebook page. We still reach out to each other for prayer. It's really cool. Denise says prayer does help, and sometimes you don't realize till years later. That is true. How many times, and I hear moms say this all the time, they'll say, I don't feel like God hears me. I don't feel like He's answering my prayers. I've been praying and praying and praying and nothing's happening. And then all of a sudden, as things unfold, we can see where He was with us all along. We see where He was with us all along. And that's the beauty of it. You know, I always think about this. Our lives are just like a blink of an eye, right? I mean, our little short lives, and we feel like we've been praying forever for our kids. And some of us have been praying for them for 15 or 20 years. But God deals with eternity. He deals with eternity. I keep getting distracted because your comments are coming right up in front of me. He deals with eternity, and so for Him, it doesn't seem like that long. For us, we feel like it's forever, but it's a blink of an eye for God. And you know what? There's sometimes we may never see the end result. You know, we have to trust God. We have to trust Him with Him. Lisa says since joining a group, she found new friendships and so much support. And man, that is the truth, the support. And that's what I'm talking about again, support and encouragement. So we're able to encourage each other, support each other, love each other. It's really special, ladies. There's a special bond we share. And I always feel like I get on here, I feel like I probably sound like a salesman. I'm not trying to like sell anything other than the fact that I know it works, and I know that you'll find relief from that pain. You know that feeling that you wake up with in the morning, that anxious churning in your stomach, and you go to bed with that at night? I don't have that anymore. It took a long time, but it was really through this process of learning to surrender my child and being able to kind of take back my own life. Our lives start revolving around something that we have no control over at all. And so we kind of die to ourselves. We die inside because we focus so much on that. We don't have anything else in our lives. So ladies, I just, I want to tell you, first of all, if you do come up with questions, 'cause I'm not saying, I see some awesome encouragement on here. Honestly, I'm so thrilled with the encouragement and the way you're encouraging each other. I want to tell you all, read the comments, because you will be encouraged. If you think of any questions you have for me, write them in the comments, and I'll be watching for them, and I'll be happy to answer them. Again, if you want to know the whole story, and I have a whole lot of stuff in my story, a lot of things that I did that were I wasn't living my life the right way, but it's all in here. The story of a hurting mom, from broken to mended, and it's starts in my childhood. And so I encourage you. And the reason I encourage you to read this book is because I've had so many people tell me how much it encouraged them. I have so many people say, "Oh my gosh, your story is my story." So There's a link that takes you to the book. Don't forget about the earrings. If you like these little earrings, I love them. I'm feeling pretty, like I said, I saw my daughter on here saying that I was snazzy because I probably said that and she's making fun of me. But I do feel kind of snazzy in these. So they're fun. They're fun and they're pretty and they're custom made for hurting moms. Nobody else has these but us. And so don't forget about that. And then above all else, if you do nothing else, sign up. Oh, finally, Lisa. Yes, I got a question. She says, have you found a closeness to your daughter since, and has she read your book? Yes. I don't know if I don't know if any of my kids have sat down and read the book. They all know about it. They all have, they can. And I understand that because I mean, my dad's a writer. He writes a lot of books and sends them. And to be honest, and Dad, I know you watch these, so sorry, but I skim them and I've read a couple of them, but I've never really read all of them from cover to cover. So I kind of understand that. But my daughter and I are very close. In fact, she and her 16-year-old daughter are actually living with my husband and I right now. We're planning a trip for Thanksgiving to go visit my parents at Thanksgiving together. And we have a good relationship. We're way different from each other. But we've learned how to set boundaries with one another, and she's good. She's good, and today, and I'm proud of her, and I love her very much, and I have a lot of fun with her. So thank you for asking. It took a lot of years. So anyway, we've already run out of time. This time goes so fast. You know what? This is really bad. So I'm on here without a guest tonight, and so I kind of like it because I just get to do all the talking. I just get to ramble on and on and on. It's probably boring for you guys, but next week I'll have a guest on with me again. But I'm really happy that I got to come on and just share with you tonight. Don't stop encouraging each other, ladies. We need each other. We really do. And it's important. Gail says, do you have groups that meet in person? Yes, we do. If you go to our website and go to groups, it says groups or breaking free groups. You'll see there'll be a tag for local groups. Click on that. There's a map and it shows all the groups that we have in the United States. You'll be able to see if there's one near you. And so they're popping up more and more. I trained probably 6 new leaders in the last couple of weeks. So we're having more and more groups. I just think it's going to keep growing. Unfortunately, sad but true, there are a lot of hurting moms. A lot of us are in this boat. So listen, ladies, I love you all. I do pray for you. I do daily, every day. I think of you often, and just keep encouraging one another. Keep encouraging me. It means a lot to me. It really does. And so I will be back. I'll see you next week. And take care, and God bless. Bye.